Hi, everybody. This is Steve Maggi from SMA Law Firm. Welcome to Building the Bridge. I have the honor of being here with Josh Goldberg from Nath Goldberg and Meyer. He's a patent attorney in New York. Thanks for joining us, Josh.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
So here's an important question, which is, why is intellectual property important to foreign companies and entrepreneurs that want to launch US operations?
Oh, that's a great question, Steve. And the answer really comes down to risk factor. How much risk are you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, willing to take? So do you have to have IP protection to launch a product or a service here in the US? Absolutely not. You don't have to. But what people often don't understand is getting intellectual property does not actually let you do anything. What it does is it lets you stop others from doing something. So if you have a patent or a trademark, what you can do is you can stop other people from competing with you. Let's say you have a new invention and a new competitor for the iPhone that you start selling in Europe and you want to bring it here to the US knowing that how lucrative the market here is. Well, you can just bring it here and start selling it and hope for the best and hope that the product is so good, sales are so good that nothing ever happens and you just keep going and going. My guess is if it really is that good, Apple's going to have something to say about that. And they're going to want to clone your new features. They're going to want to pretend that's their own. Let's face it, that's Apple's business model. How do you stop that from happening? By having a patent to protect whatever your new technology is. So that way, if Apple wants to compete with you and wants to compete with you on your tech to sell your new innovation in their iPhone, they now need to come to you and ask for a license or for a sale of the patent or something like that. They can't just compete and say, oh, that's a great idea. Let me incorporate it into my product. No, they have to come to you and ask for permission. Same thing with a trademark. If you have a name, think Coca-Cola, very famous name. Okay, if it was not protected here in the US, somebody else could sell a different cola, just call it, Coca-Cola, C-O-C-U. And it's likelihood of confusion. Anybody looking at it might say, oh, wow, that's the same thing that I really liked I got the other day. Let me buy it again and steal sales from you. Okay. The third thing is if you're a startup or a younger company, and if you're looking for investment or creation of value, every piece of IP that you have that you can point to increases the amount you can ask for a funding event, whether it's from a venture capitalist or an angel investor. If you're looking for an exit, everybody who's investing is going to say, gee, well, how do I protect my investment? How do I know nobody else is going to interfere with your business?
Because it's already been protected. The people have the insight to protect it up front, right?
Exactly. So, that's the most common question I hear from investors. What's your IP position? And you can say, oh yeah, IP, that sounds good. We were thinking about that. Or we're getting around to it someday. Or what's IP? Your value goes down and down and down.
I've seen that at pitch nights where foreign entrepreneurs pitch their potential product launches in the US. That is certainly one of the questions. How do you preach to people the power of prevention? And the expression is a penny wise, a pound foolish, right? To incorporate those preventative costs into your budgets for launching something in the US.
Well, a lot depends on the type of IP we're talking about. So if it's new technology, something that you would patent, you have to know it's an expensive, time-consuming process. There's just no way around it. And if you're creating a new iPhone, a new pen, a new widget, any physical, concrete object, it's very clear. I've never really had to try very hard to get people to understand it.
Okay.
Let's say you have a new piece of software or a new app. And that's the one that comes up most often. Everybody's crazy about apps or fonts or emojis. How do you protect that? Now, is it possible to patent those things? It could be, but generally I tell people don't bother because it takes a lot of time and a lot of money to get a patent on those things. What I say instead is, let's get a trademark on whatever it is you're doing so that if you're out there and your app is called My App, right? Nobody else has anything like that. And what it does is it helps you save money on every transaction you make. Okay, very popular, very powerful. You can be out there And without people knowing your name, my app, they might think that any app that saves money is the same thing. And they might go out and buy that thinking that they're yours. So instead, I tell people, okay, protect your brand, protect your name, protect your brand, protect your logo. So anybody who wants to be buying from you, the innovator, the best, they have to come to you. They have to know it's you, number one. Number two, get out there onto the market as fast as you can, make as much money as you can, so that everybody knows, gee, I want to save money. My app is the way to go. You know, there's always going to be new technology that comes out in the app space a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. But if you get that name, if you get that consciousness, that name in the conscience of people, I mean, look at Facebook. Does Facebook do anything unique from a technical perspective? No, they really don't. Why do people go there? Because that's where people are. They have a community there, right?
You think of WhatsApp, like WhatsApp has app in it, and it's a play on what's up, obviously, but
Yep.
they were so successful and got their spread the word so fast that it was global, and then Facebook ironically ended up purchasing it, right? So
That's exactly right. And that's a perfect example, WhatsApp. They got out there, they got their name known, they became known as the innovator in worldwide communication. If you wanted to communicate with people wherever you were and wherever they are, you had to have WhatsApp, period.
so for those entrepreneurs, foreign entrepreneurs who may have a large scale project or a small scale project, maybe like an app like we talked about, and they're interested in perhaps launching US operations, how do they get in touch with you to ask you to walk them through all the different important points here so they're well prepared?
Sure, Steve. Well, as you can see to my right, I have my name, email address, and phone number there. So anybody, the easiest way to get in touch with me is always by email. I'm on Zooms doing meetings like this all the time. So sometimes I answer the phone, sometimes I don't. Email, I will always get back to you.
Fantastic, Josh. Thanks so much for your knowledge and for your time.
Thank you, Steve.